Alright guys, at first, this Doom by Fate situation was believed to be real, and it spread quickly across the community. But now it's been revealed that a lot of it was actually fake, and the way it was handled made everything even worse. Let's get into it! So this game was recently updated to add a new character called 1X. This version of 1X is similar to the one in Forsaken, but they went for their own design, including very different animations and effects. These effects included a lot of glitch visuals, which were meant to make 1X stand out and look completely different compared to other versions seen before. However, this is where a major issue occurred. The developers wanted this to be the main design for 1X, but the effects caused serious problems. In the Discord, players pointed out that these effects could trigger epilepsy. Many players called out for a feature that would tone down these effects, so it would be safer for everyone to play. 2 days before the update, players made multiple threads about this issue, trying to get attention so changes could be made before release. One of these posts reached around 30 reactions, meaning it was clearly visible and should have been seen. Despite this, there were no warnings added and no visible changes made to the effects before the update released. When the update finally released, the same intense effects were still in the game. There were no adjustments, despite all the warnings beforehand. Because of this, a player named Kit reportedly suffered a severe epileptic seizure. Kit, a 20-year-old woman, was said to have been hospitalized after playing the update. Her friend, Dracobloxer, reported that this was caused by the effects of 1X in Doom by Fate. From there, things escalated even further. It was then claimed that Kit had died due to the seizure, and this information began spreading within the Discord. However, instead of the situation being taken seriously, some moderators and individuals in the Discord began joking about it. They were saying things like it was 1 in 1,000, referring to the player count, showing that they did not take the situation seriously. One moderator in particular, NYZ, continued to double down on this behavior. They referred to Kit as just a random on the internet, which is extremely disrespectful. This response showed a complete lack of empathy and responsibility. Even after being called out, NYZ continued to mock the situation, making comments like she's with tung sahur now, which is completely inappropriate. NYZ also refused to take any accountability. They continued to downplay everything and showed no concern for what had happened. According to the claims, at the time, there was no proper epilepsy warning in the game. Although a basic flash toggle was reportedly added afterward, it did not properly fix the issue. At the same time, people began asking for proof of the hospitalization and the death, which is understandable given how serious these accusations are. Despite this, the response from the Discord side was handled poorly. One of the responses included complaints about players asking for changes, saying things like, "It's not even a day and y'all are already demanding another feature." This made the situation seem even more careless. Even beyond whether the death was real or not, the main issue was how the situation was handled. Some moderators and individuals in the Discord were mocking it, saying yawn, and even making racist comments. When the Discord channels were locked, they continued to talk irresponsibly while people were questioning whether the situation was even real. Eventually, a co-owner made a statement saying, "I am sorry that you feel upset about this situation, about this serious issue. I am not trying to show disrespect or downplay or anything. But because of the significance of the matter and the impact of the game, we are not able to officially confirm anyone's death without any proof." This response came quite late, and at the time, many people felt like it lacked urgency and didn't fully address the seriousness of what was being claimed. Even though the situation later turned out to be false, this response still played a big role in how the community reacted. After all of this, the original person who brought attention to the situation was Sonic Deuce. However, new information later came out showing that Mel, also known as Dracobloxer, had been lying about the situation. This led to many people feeling betrayed. Sonic Deuce recommended watching content from Creekcraft, who also spoke about the situation. Creekcraft explained that the people in the Discord including NYZ and others making inappropriate comments, were not actually part of the main development team. The actual developers are based in Thailand, meaning they were not even awake during the time this situation was happening. A full call between Creecraft and Mel revealed multiple contradictions in the story. This confirmed that the entire situation regarding Kit's death was false, and it is unclear whether Kit was even a real person. Despite everything that has come out, there are still some very important takeaways from this entire situation. First, this should act as a serious warning for any Roblox game when it comes to epileptic players. Visual effects like flashing lights and intense glitches are not just design choices, they can have real consequences if not handled properly. Players had already raised concerns about these effects before the update was even released, and those concerns were clearly visible, yet nothing was properly done beforehand. Second, even after the update launched, the situation was not handled well. While a basic epilepsy toggle was reportedly added afterward, it was not properly implemented and did not fully address the issue. This shows a lack of proper testing and consideration, especially for something that had already been brought up by the community. Even if no real harm ended up occurring, this was still a situation that could have been avoided entirely with better preparation and communication. Now, on top of all of this, the situation became even worse with the information that came out later. It was revealed that Mel had been lying about the entire situation involving Kit. This includes the claims about the seizure, hospitalization, and death, which turned out to be false. This is extremely irresponsible, as spreading something this serious not only misleads the community, but also creates unnecessary panic and outrage over something that wasn't even real. It also takes attention away from real issues that should actually be taken seriously. However, even though the situation itself was fake, that does not excuse how it was handled. The behavior seen in the Discord, whether it came from moderators, concept artists, or individuals associated with the team, was still completely unacceptable. Instead of treating the situation with care and seriousness, some people were mocking it, making jokes, and even making insensitive or racist comments. There were also comments that came across as dismissive toward epileptic players, which only made things worse. Even in a situation where the claims were unverified, the correct response should have been to take it seriously, show concern, and handle it professionally. Instead, the responses made it seem like the situation was being brushed off or treated like a joke, which is not how something like this should ever be handled. At the end of the day, this entire situation could have been avoided if the concerns about the effects were addressed earlier, and if the situation was handled properly from the start. None of this would have escalated the way it did. Instead, it turned into a massive controversy that damaged the game's reputation and caused unnecessary outrage within the community. That is all for now.